The year was 1912. Villisca, Iowa was a quiet town. The people were hard-working. They knew their neighbors. They trusted each other. It was the kind of place where doors were left unlocked. Children played freely. But that summer, darkness fell upon Villisca, a darkness that would stain its history forever. Villisca was like many small towns across America, simple, peaceful. Its residents were farmers, shopkeepers, and churchgoers. They worked hard. They valued family. They believed in their community. But this peaceful existence was shattered. On a warm June night, evil visited Villisca. It left an unforgettable mark. Josiah and Sarah Moore lived in a modest two-story house. They had 4 children: Herman, Catherine, Boyd, and Paul. On June 9th, 1912, the Moores attended the Children's Day services at the Presbyterian Church. They invited 2 young guests to spend the night: Ina and Lena Stillinger. The evening was unremarkable. A simple dinner, games with friends, prayers before bed. No one could have imagined the horror that awaited. The Moore children were excited. They had their friends over. They played games in the house. They laughed and ran. The adults chatted. They enjoyed the warm summer evening. Around 9:30 p.m., Sarah Moore ushered the children upstairs. They went to the bedroom they shared. It was a typical Sunday evening full of innocence, unaware of the evil lurking outside. The next morning, Mary Peckham, a concerned neighbour, noticed something amiss. The Moore house was unusually quiet. The chores were left undone. Mary approached the house. She knocked on the door. There was no answer. A sense of dread crept over her. She tried the doorknob. It was unlocked. Mary cautiously entered the house. The air was heavy. An unnatural silence hung in the air. She called out for Sarah. There was no response. She walked further into the house. Each step filled her with a growing fear. Then she saw it. The first sign of the horror that awaited. An axe resting on the floor, covered in blood. The victims were found brutally murdered in their beds. Josiah and Sarah Moore, their 4 children, and their 2 young guests. All 8 victims had been bludgeoned to death with an axe. The killer had meticulously covered the windows and mirrors. This chilling detail suggested premeditation, a planned attack. The scene was horrific. Blood splattered the walls and bedding. The killer had struck with unimaginable rage. Josiah Moore, the father, had suffered the most blows. His face was unrecognizable. Lena Stillinger, one of the young guests, had also been brutally attacked. The scene was a testament to the darkest depths of human cruelty. Section 5. The Investigation. A Labyrinth of Uncertainty. News of the murders spread like wildfire. The small town of Villisca was in shock. Fear and suspicion gripped the community. Law enforcement, ill-equipped for such a horrific crime, struggled to process the scene. The investigation was further hampered by the influx of curious townspeople. They trampled over potential evidence, contaminating the crime scene. The investigation was chaotic from the start. Footprints were trampled. The murder weapon was handled by multiple people. The lack of modern forensic techniques hindered the investigation. Fingerprints were not properly dusted. Bloodstains were not analyzed. The investigation was a frustrating mix of limited resources and missed opportunities. Section 6. Whispers of Suspicion. The Elusive Killer. Despite numerous suspects and theories, the Villisca Axe murders remain unsolved. One of the primary suspects was Reverend George Kelly, a traveling minister who had been in Villisca the day of the murders. Kelly exhibited strange behavior and even confessed to the murders years later. However, his confession was deemed unreliable. Other suspects emerged, each with their own motives and potential connections to the Moore family: a jealous business rival, a scorned lover, a drifter passing through town. Theories abounded, but the lack of concrete evidence made it impossible to definitively pin the crime on anyone. The case went cold. Section 7. A House Frozen in Time. the Villisca Axe Murder House today. In the decades following the murders, the house changed hands numerous times. It was briefly a rental property. Then, in 1994, Darwin and Martha Lynn purchased the house. They embarked on a meticulous restoration project. Their goal was to return the house to its 1912 state. They painstakingly researched the house's history. They used period-appropriate furnishings. Today, the Villisca Axe Murder House stands as a chilling reminder of the horrific crime that took place within its walls. Visitors can tour the house. They can experience the eerie atmosphere. They can feel the weight of the tragedy that unfolded there. Section 8. Echoes of terror, paranormal activity and unexplained events. The Villisca Axe Murder House has earned a reputation as one of the most haunted locations in America. Visitors and investigators have reported a range of paranormal activity, unexplained noises, cold spots, the feeling of being watched. Some claim to have seen apparitions, others have heard disembodied voices. One of the most notable incidents occurred in 2014. A paranormal investigator, Robert Lawson Jr., was stabbed in the chest while spending the night in the house. Lawson claimed it was the work of a supernatural entity. Others speculated it was self-inflicted. The incident only added to the house's dark legend. Section 9. The Enduring Enigma, a Legacy of Mystery. The Villisca Axe murders continue to fascinate and horrify. The case remains unsolved. The identity of the killer is a mystery. Was it a planned attack or a crime of passion? What drove someone to commit such a horrific act? These questions linger. The lack of answers only adds to the intrigue. The Villisca Axe Murder House stands as a chilling reminder of the dark side of human nature. It is a place where the past refuses to stay buried. The house continues to draw visitors from all over the world. They come seeking answers. They come seeking thrills. They come to pay their respects to the victims of a brutal crime. The Villisca Axe murders remain a haunting reminder that even in the smallest, most peaceful of towns, evil can lurk, and sometimes it leaves an unforgettable mark.